please turn down the light just a tad? I'm kind of getting blind up here.
Welcome to Praise.
Please, if you can.
No, just blindness for the rest of you.
Like, it's so bright up here.
Turn the lights down.
They're struggling.
Yeah.
It's on the blackboard. Yeah, thank you. Much appreciated. Okay, so hi guys, I'm Keegan. I was an intern over the summer, and Ryan asked me to do a sermon because he's not here. Hi, Martha. Okay, so slide please. Thank you. So my sermon is called More Than Just a Sunday, and I have a question for everybody in this room. Are you just a Sunday Christian? So, so I want to say this first. I want you to think about it for a minute, and we'll come back to it. But in Psalms 1, 2 through 3, it says, "Whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on His law day and night." That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. So, what if one morning you decide to start fasting, but instead of eating at dusk or dawn every day, you decide to wait until Sunday and give yourself one big meal? For that one Sunday, you would feel really full. But what about Monday through Saturday? What would happen? Well, over time, you would become starving and weak because you aren't fulfilling your body with what it needs to survive. In Matthew 4:4, Jesus says, "Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Basically, Jesus is telling us that we don't only need physical food to survive, we also need spiritual food. Well, now say you decide one Sunday to skip that big meal. You weren't feeling really up for it that day. Well, by the next Saturday, you would be absolutely starving because you hadn't eaten for almost 2 weeks. Okay, well, say that, but now say on a Wednesday, you have a small snack, like maybe like a granola bar, some cheese. You might feel a little more satisfied with your hunger, but over time you're still going to feel really hungry. Do you see where I'm going with this? You can't just come to church on a Sunday or maybe a Wednesday night and expect that to be enough Jesus to carry you through the entire week. You aren't feeding your spirit enough that way. And that reminds me of something that happened to me recently. So I babysit Christian's kids. I don't know where Christian is, but hi Christian.
Hi.
I babysit his kids. The other day when I was getting ready to leave their house after I finished babysitting, we were having a small discussion about just random things and stuff like that. And I was like, my phone is always dead. I never charge my phone. It's really bad. So it's like, my phone is dead. I don't have a charger. And I was just sitting there. And when my mom picked me up, we were just talking about it, and I was like, maybe if I actually brought a charger or charged my phone, it would actually stay charged. And I soon realized that this can actually resemble our relationship with Christ, because how are we going to charge our phones once and expect them to last forever? We can't. If I charged my phone to 100% on a Sunday, then didn't charge it again for the entire week, eventually the battery would slowly go down. Monday, I would feel good, my phone would feel good. I'm like, it's going down. Tuesday, still doing okay. Wednesday, it's getting a little lower, and then Thursday and Friday, you're really struggling because your phone is practically dead. And then Saturday, your phone's completely dead. And then when Sunday comes around, you're like, oh, it's time to charge my phone again. Our phones need to be plugged in regularly, and we need to continually go back to God. We can't just go to church on a Sunday and expect that one day of Jesus to last us the entire week. Our phones need a charger to keep going, while we need Jesus to keep going.
Yeah.
Because just like our phone battery slowly decreases without being charged, our spiritual lives can slowly become weaker when we stop spending time with God. And that actually reminds me of another example. Has anybody in this room heard of the Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore? There's a slide for that. So I'll move out the way. So it's this big sand dune thing, and it starts like this, and then it slowly goes down. If you get stuck down there, it's quite expensive to get back up.
Is it like $600?
No, like you have to get airlifted by a helicopter.
Oh, $600.
Yeah. But say you were going down the sand dune, and you might think that going down is super easy, but when you try to get back up, it's harder than you think. And I think our relationship with God can sometimes be like that. Sometimes it starts with missing one day, then we stop praying, then we stop reading our Bible, then we stop worshiping, and then we stop talking to God. Then we stop talking about God altogether. And before we realize it, we've slowly gone farther and farther away from Him. It's kind of walking down that sand dune. At first, you might not even notice how far you've gone, but eventually you'll look up and realize, wow, I'm a lot farther away than I thought. And sometimes, when we're stuck at the bottom, we need help getting back up, and that's where God comes in. God doesn't promise that He will make every problem disappear instantly, but He does promise that He will be with us through them, and He can help us take that first step, then another, and another. And even when we feel like we've gone too far, we're never too far from God. God is always one step behind us. That's why having a relationship with Him every day matters, because the goal isn't to wait until we're completely spiritually exhausted or stuck at the bottom before we reach for God. The goal is to stay connected to Him along the way. Now, let's go back to our Psalms. It's basically saying the person who spends times in God's words day and night is like a tree planted by streams of water. Think about that. A tree planted next to a stream has a constant source of water. It doesn't just get watered once a week. It is constantly connected to what gives it life. And that's what a relationship with God should look like. We need to stay connected to Him. Spending time with God isn't only about reading your Bible every day. It's about praying to Him, talking to Him about anything and everything. It's listening to worship music, having quiet time alone with Him, thanking Him for the good things in your life, and asking for help when you're struggling. Talking about Him with your friends and sharing His love with other people. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be consistent. Now think about the people you were closest to. Your best friend, your parents, your siblings, maybe your youth pastor or youth leader. Imagine only talking to them once a week and you're expecting your relationship to stay exactly the same. It would not. If I only talked to my best friend every Sunday, eventually we wouldn't really know what was going on in each other's lives. And the same thing can happen with God. God doesn't want to only hear from us on a Sunday. He wants us to talk to Him when we're happy, when we're angry, when we're stressed, when we're excited, when we're confused, and when we don't even know what we're doing. He wants to be a part of our lives every single day, not just our church lives. So I want you to ask yourself, in your head, if someone looked at your life from Monday through Saturday, would they know that you're a Christian? Ooh. Or, no, I wasn't saying, ooh, I was like, my things rolled away. But, or would they only know you're a Christian because you showed up to church on a Sunday? Being a Christian isn't something we're supposed to turn on when we walk through church and the door, Being a Christian isn't something we're supposed to turn on when we walk through the church doors and turn off when we walk out. It's supposed to be who we are every single day. So, don't let Sunday be the only day you spend time with God. Don't let Wednesday be the only other day you remember Him. Give Him your Monday, give Him your Tuesday, give Him your Wednesday, give Him your Thursday, give Him your Friday, and give Him your Saturday. And then on Sunday, come back to Him because you're celebrating God you've been walking. You're celebrating the God you've been walking with all week. Because we're not just called to be a Sunday Christian. We're called to follow Jesus every single day and share His love with others. And one last thing I want to leave you with is I saw this in the good comment section the other day, and I didn't know really where to put this, so I kind of put it at the end. But Bible basically stands for Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth. So read your Bible to learn about what to do, what to go for, and how to build a connection with God every single day. And that's it. Okay, Jeremy, you ready? You ready?
Let's go, Jeremy!
it one more time. You know, it's like,
Jeremy, what's your last name?
but it's not spelled the same way, but K-A-R-I-U-K-I.
K-A-R-I.
U-K-I. Okay, so before I start, I want to ask you, who's excited for the school year to start? Nobody? Ish? Who's not excited for the school year to start? Well, you know, I'm going into my senior year, so I guess I'm not really young. I'm still young, hip, and cool, I mean. You know, I'm going into my senior year, so, you know, it's kind of wild. But I guess I'm kind of excited because, you know, it's like my last first day, my last football game, all that nonsense. You know, it's kind of exciting. I get early release, so I'm not really in school all day, every day. I get to leave school early. So, you know, yeah, I'm going into a new season and, like, you know, I gotta apply to colleges and all that. And, yeah, it's pretty exciting. But, you know, so entering a new school year means that there's gonna be change, right? And it's not just for me. All of us are gonna go through change because, you know, most of us are going into a new school year, you know, us young people. You might be going into a new school, going into elementary or middle school, or going out of elementary, you know what I mean? Going out of elementary to middle school. Or going in the middle of high school, you know, hopefully everybody passed last year and they're going to a new grade, you know, new teachers, new classes, new schedules, all that, right? A new school year brings a lot of change, and you might not exactly know what that change looks like. But what I want to tell you guys tonight is the school year might be new, but God isn't, which is my title, which is New School Year, Same God, right? The verse I have is Hebrews 13:8, which says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. God was faithful before. Like, think about everything you've ever been through in your life. The good things, the bad things, the prayers God answered, and even the situations you didn't understand what God was doing, He was there. He's always been there. He's also faithful now. Whatever you may be going through, whatever is happening in your life right now, He's still with you. And that won't change. He'll be with you tomorrow, the next day, and the next day, forever. He'll always be there when He needs us. Or when we need Him, I mean. And your teachers might change, your friends might change, but Jesus Christ is the same as yesterday, today, and forever. We don't know what this school year will look like, but we do know who will be with us through it. So I have 3 points I want to talk about. The first being God is with us. In Joshua 1:9, it says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So Joshua was entering a new season, just like us, but, you know, instead of having to look for, like, room 200 for math or whatever, he's got to lead the people of Israel because Moses had died, and it was up to him to lead the people of Israel to the promised land. And God told him to be strong and be courageous, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So you might be thinking, like what if I fail, or what if I don't make any friends, or what if I can't handle it, or what if I don't fit in? Whatever it may be, God is always with you. He doesn't promise that every situation will be easy, but He does promise that you're not going to face it alone. He's always with you in your classroom, in your cafeteria, on the bus, when you're struggling, when you're thriving, when you're surrounded by people, or when you're completely alone. He's always there. Remember, every time you walk into those doors of school, God is with you. My second point is God has a plan for you. How many of you guys know what you want to do after high school? Exactly. Now, how many of you have no clue? Exactly. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to figure it out. Like, people tell you that you got to know what college you want to go to, what career you want, what you want to major in, this, that, and the third, right? But it's okay to not have it all figured out. In Jeremiah 29:11, it says, for I know all the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. For the plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. You might not understand why you're in a certain class, or why a certain friendship might have ended. You might not understand why something you prayed for wasn't answered the way you wanted. Maybe you don't understand what God is doing right now, but not understanding His plan doesn't mean He doesn't have one. You don't need to know the plan to trust the one who does. Sorry, I got thirsty. It was good. My last point is you represent him. In Colossians 3:17, it says, "And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to the Father through him." So whatever you do, what does that include? That means going to school, your sports, your friendship, whatever you're doing online. Like, it doesn't matter what you do at church. It doesn't say whatever you do at church. It says whatever you do. What does that look like? Like when you're angry, or when someone embarrasses you, or when your friends are doing something you know isn't right? What does it look like when someone isn't watching? You're always representing him, and it's important to remember that. Being a Christian isn't something that you just turn on at church and then turn it off when you leave and wait till the next Wednesday or the next Sunday. You don't stop being a Christian when you leave this room. You're always representing Jesus. When you're walking in class, when you're sitting at lunch, when you're on the soccer field, or when you're in like a club or whatever, no matter what you're doing, you're always representing Jesus, even online. So like, if you're posting hate, don't. And keep this in mind with the way you talk, the way you treat others, the way you act, and how you respond when you're frustrated. So in the next 2 weeks, when you walk into those doors, you're going to see new people. You're going to sit in new classrooms and face new challenges. Some of you are going to have a great year. Some of you might have a very difficult year. But when you walk into those doors, remember who walked in with you. Remember, God is always with you. God has a plan for you, and you represent him. The school year may change, your classes may change, and your friends may change, but God doesn't change. He is the same yesterday, he's the same today, and the same tomorrow. New school year, same God. That's it. Thank you.